Hello there. Nice to see you. Today we're going to be making this into a knife. So this is going to be going in here in the forge, and we're going to bring this up to about 2,000 degrees. Then I'll be using this hammer to beat it into submission in the shape that I like. So we'll get the forge lit. I'll show you exactly what that's going to look like. And yeah, I believe more than likely I will follow the process that we use for our knife forging class. So if you have ever wanted to forge your own knife, these are the steps that we follow. And here is our progression board from the class. So we're gonna get our steel to this to start, right? A bar shaped. From there, we're gonna break the corners in. From there, we're gonna offset that to one side. From there, we're going to set our heel in place. We're then going to proceed to draw down the heel and lengthen the width of the blade, or the face of the blade. We'll then bring those bevels down the whole way. And then finally, we will forge our tip up, and then down and then up. It's the whole process. This is a drop point hunter progression board from our forging class that Casey Combs and I teach together. So step one, we need to light the forge. We're actually going to turn on the air. That's this guy right here. So if you look down here, there's a funnel. That funnel has a fan inside of it. So it's going to start producing air, which the fuel needs to combust. Then we're going to add fuel. So when we open the main valve, you'll hear it. Are you ready?
Yep.
Hear that? Lastly, we need ignition. So we're going to put the ignition in here, right? Then we're going to slowly open the fuel. 7 psi for our fuel. You can see, if I shut the door here, we've got a fair amount of blue flame coming out the end. So we can tune that blue flame. Obviously, that's a lot more fuel than oxygen, and this is a lot more oxygen than fuel. We need a nice balance of that. We're going to go right about there. And then, lastly, we're going to close this door. We're going to let that steel get nice and hot. And I'm going to turn the lights on. Alrighty, so step one. So we're going to be taking this, I'll show you it here in the heat. Taking this piece of metal here, and we're going to straighten it out. It's already warmed up pretty hot, but we need it hotter than that to start moving it. Especially at this thickness, it's first time in the heat, it needs to soak. Just like a Mormon, it's got to soak for a while and let it get hot all the way through. All right, so we're going to pull it out of the heat. My guess is this is about 1,700 degrees. We gotta unfurl that mess. We're actually gonna do that. Oh boy, what a tricky shape to work. You came here to watch me struggle, right? Better grip on our piece here so I don't get hit in the face with hot steel. You do not work the steel too cold, because if you do, it'll crack. And if you get a crack now, even if it's a small crack, it will never not be a crack, you know what I mean? Nice and hot again. How about that? All right, well that's pretty flat, huh? We're gonna cut that piece off right there. See, it's got an indentation. We don't really want to have to deal with that. I'd like to just have a big square bar of steel, so. Ta-da! And then straight to the power hammer. Starting to look like a thickness we could actually make a knife out of. I'm still going to take the tip down a little bit more, but it officially needs to go back in the heat. Check that out. Looking pretty good, huh? All right. I think what I'll do is just cut that other end off. Right there. Okay, we're about halfway there. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a little bit hot in here. Merry Christmas, that's hot. Big knife, Junior.
Oh yeah.
All right, so this edge here will become our edge, and that means we need to determine what our handle's gonna be. So I'm guessing the handle's gonna be about, yay big, about there. So next we will take this guy here, and we're actually gonna give it a little dent here right now. Just right there. As our mark for reference for when we really hammer on this. Then, as we put the bevels in, it's going to want to curve towards the spine side. So if we pre-curve it in like a banana, it'll stop it from becoming a banana afterwards. It's like antimatter or a black hole. Anti-banana. Banana. Find that notch right there. It's really important on big knives like this. So next step, we will start to forge in some bevels. I think so. We'll start right here. Start pulling this material with the round end of the hammer down. We're going to try and grow this by about 50% in size. Ow. I just smelled burning meat. Nice. You know, if I didn't know any better, I'd say I knew what I was doing. So you can already see how that has started to straighten back out, right? From our initial banana. In fact, right now it actually looks quite phallic. All right, back in the heat. We're gonna get off some of this forge scale here. So we can tell what we're doing. Keep moving down. It's getting more and more knife-like. I don't make knives this big ever. My arm is so sore. So the thinner it gets, the faster it heats, and the faster it cools down. Boy, that's pretty menacing, huh?
Oh yeah.
This right here. Ooh, I like that.
That looks sweet.
All right, so you can see we got a little bit of a curve in it. A little bit of a curve in the blade, but when we straighten this out with some little baby taps, it should be nice and flat and straight. Of course, straighter than a man with a nose ring. All right, so now we're normalizing the blade. I just pulled it out of the forge and it's cooling down at the rate of air. What that's gonna do is, oh look who's come to join us, Bucket. Meow. That's gonna help the steel relax, right? And it's gonna help relieve all that stress we just put into it, because we just did terrible, awful, nasty things to this steel. I mean, we beat the shit out of it. There's my one cuss word to keep this PG-13 rated movie. I'm sure there's a few more. But yeah, that's the normalizing cycle. Number one, we're actually gonna do this 3 times, 2 times, and then an anneal. So the third time, we actually do it in the kiln, or in the forge. We're gonna let it cool down at the same rate as the forge with the doors closed. And that's gonna make the steel incredibly soft, and then we can grind on it easily. And clean this up on the grinder. But I'm pretty pleased. I think this looks pretty sick. Almost done. I will let the auto exposure do its job. There it is. You can see the knife is in there and it's still black. So this is the last thermal cycle. except this is gonna double as an anneal as well. So I'm gonna let this whole knife get up to the same temperature as the inside of the forge. Then I'm gonna shut the gas off, shut the doors to the forge, turn the fan off, and let it cool down for a couple hours, nice and slow. That's gonna cause this knife to get nice and soft, and that's gonna allow me to drill holes in the finger there, sorry, in the handle. Yeah, that's the next step. Look at that. Hot, hot, hot. All right, so if you're wondering how hard is this, well, the answer is we only offer our forging classes in the winter time. Nate, you were in there working. It felt like, what, 75 degrees outside when you came out?
Yeah.
It is currently 95 degrees outside, and this is like a breath of fresh air. I am drenched all the way through. Underwear, pants, my shirt, pretty much every inch of it is soaking wet. This is hard work. Nate, what would you say to anybody who would insinuate what we do isn't handcrafted?
They're out of their mind.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Silly people in this world, I tell you.
They're living on another planet if they think that.
I would agree.
All right, here is the ASHLAND Kentucky knife after a full day of forging. So I've got to grind some of that material out of the handle. Oh, look who's here. Meow. It's for cats in half. So it is got a nice taper to the tip, and I'm pretty pleased with how much cat hair is on it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm pretty pleased with how centered I forged that edge. But yeah, this thing is wild. Very big knife and very cool knife. I'm very pleased with myself. Bucket. Meow. Say goodbye. Tell them watch the next video.